Hey guys, we are JAGGS, and during Dancefair 2017 we explained this track, Feels Good, which was released on Revealed Recordings. Let me play the track first real quick and then we're gonna dive into it. And so on. As you can see, we made the track in FL Studio. So we're gonna talk you through the whole track, the whole arrangement. So let's begin with the intro. I remember when we started this track, Axwell Barricade was just released. So the intro is very much inspired by that track, as you can hear. We used a percussion kind of sound, which is this one, as a sort of kick drum. And there's an ARP playing, or a sort of ARP. Let me check what else. And of course the ride.
Which is switching.
Yeah. So this is an intro of 1 minute and then the drop comes in immediately. That's an arrangement we like to use very often. So intro, first build up, first drop, then the breakdown with a melody or something, second build up, and then a second drop outro. That's also the arrangement we use for this track. And as you can see, we skipped some parts. Like here it says skip, and here it says break open, which we also skipped, but I'll come to that later. So the build up. Is an extension of the intro, and as you can see, we used several uplifters to really create the energy you want, an energetic build-up to really make the drop feel even bigger. So what else is going on? The vocal, very important. We rendered the vocal in an old project because we used a lot of effects on it, and it's a vocal we found on the internet.
Just a free vocal.
Yeah, but we pitched it and we distorted it, I think, and yeah, EQ of course. And that's it, I think, right?
Yeah, it was a really long vocal.
Yeah, this is just one piece of it, one sentence. So I think we can go into the drop. Oh, something else that might be important to tell is we used, of course, a lot of automation. Automation is great to keep your track interesting and to not get bored that fast. But we also used automation for the build-up, like a volume dip, like we lowered the volume just before the drop comes in to really get more energy out of it. We used a high pass filter and the low pass filter to cut off the high frequencies a little bit and the low frequencies a little bit more, which we also did to get more power. And we used a reverb. We automated a reverb in the build-up to really get it big. And the thing we did is in FL Studio you can mono your tracks, so only use the mid volume and just lower the sides, which is this button. And we automated that as well to get the sound into the center, so when the drop comes in it sounds wide and like a whole wall of sound, and you get that really big feeling, like the wow effect. Which brings us to the drop. Some people who already know us, they know we like the wow feel or the wow effect to make our sounds. You want to tell something about that? About the drop layering and the layering of sounds?
You can explain the sound first.
Let me explain the sound. Because we made this, the main lead, the main sound lead, we made it from scratch. It's this one. This is what it sounds without automation. And let me walk you through all the effects we used to get the type of sound it eventually became. So let me turn these off. Something else is still playing. So this is the sound we began with. Just a normal FL Studio synthesizer. And well, then we started putting effects on it and just tweaking and just trial and error, and let me walk you through it. So EQing, we use a lot of EQing. Then the wow effect, the wow. More EQing. A sausage fattener to distort the sound, to really give it power and a nasty feeling. And more EQing because the distortion gives you back the unwanted frequencies, like the frequencies below 100, 150 hertz that you don't really want in your main lead because it will interfere with your kick and bass. So we cut it off again. This one was turned off. We didn't use it. Then some reverb. And then we routed it to a new mixer channel because, as you can see, this was kind of full. And you can do it by this button. And we used more effects, so I'll turn them off and on again. This is a Devastator, it's a free plugin, I think, also distortion. A little bit more nastiness, more EQing. Boosted the highs a little bit, cut off the lows. A sound goodizer. Minimal effect. More reverb. A dimension expander. This is also a really short reverb or delay, as you can yeah. more EQ. And then these are the low pass and high pass that we used to automate the build-ups. And the limiter, let's see what it does. It's limiting / compressing the lead a little bit. But then, as you can hear, it still sounds very monotonous or something like that. And that's because we used more automation clips. The first one is a cutoff. We automated this one. And the second one is the wow filter, as we just explained. We automated this button. And the reason why we automated this is because we wanted to get it like into one with the kick drum. So we automated the cutoff, so it really like sounds like one big kick. So that's layer one of the drop. You want to explain the other layers?
Yeah, so we liked the sound already, but we went through with layering the sound to get it even more big and nasty. So we added this sound. Let's play it. Wait a minute. It's a really aggressive sound. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will play it with and without. So this is without the layer. It's cool and fat, but when you add this layer, it gets way. And we also add, we do this a lot, we add a high, how do you say it, white noise kind of sound. This is a ride. Let's see. Play it without. Wait, is it off? No. But why we do it is to make it more in your face, and the sound pops out more.
Yeah, because of the high frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and then
yeah,
also this this layer, which sweeps in the sound again. As we just explained, we cut off the main lead, and then we added this one to get that sucking feeling again, that it really sucks in. Yeah, and that's the layering and the main lead of the drop. Then we have the kick and the bass, which is this one, the kick. It's a long kick, as you can see. It's quite long, and we just got it from a sample pack somewhere. I'm not even sure where exactly, but it's sampled, I see. And this is a bass we like to use a lot in our tracks. It's a Melbourne kind of bass.
Yes, from Melbourne pack.
Yeah, but we did do some EQ, quite a lot. Not really sure why we used this much, but it works, so why not? We cut off a lot of the highs, so we only get the lows up to 150, I see.
Maybe you can turn the mixer off and hear the difference.
Yeah, so we really cut off the mids because we don't wanted them. So yeah, that. Then we have some other sounds playing to really get a big feeling, like the crowd. It's just all in the background. It all fills up your track, and makes it more interesting. And these vocal kind of sounds, we used it on the first kick. And this one is different, I think. Oh no, it's not. And what is this? Oh, it's more noise. So a lot of layering, as you can see. Layering is important to give your leads power and keep them interesting and not too flat. I think you can call it that. So let's continue. So some short breaks or fills with the snares and the scratch sound. Which together create a nice vibe. A clap comes in. This is a clap we made or layered ourselves, I think, and then we just rendered it and put it in our own sample like folder pack, which really improves your workflow if you do that. Second short break has this cowbell in it. And some more FX sounds. And again, a reversed clap, which comes back here, as you can see, and also here, which really sucks in the first like kick of the new, how do you say, the new part of the track. This sucks in. Yeah. Okay, so this second part of the first drop is kind of the same, but
hi-hat and clap.
Yeah, it comes with a ride and an uplifter, I think, and also some other small FX sound. So I think, oh, maybe this is funny to talk about.
Does the wow filter change here, or is it just
oh,
a second?
Sorry, yeah. Good thing. Yeah. The sound changes, as you can hear. This is the first part. The second part. What we did is it's this automation clip that makes it change. Here you can see it's all the way down, which make the sound like this. Maybe I can show you guys in a different way. So it's this button we automated. In the first part it's all the way down, so like this, and in the second part it's a little bit up, so it sounds like this. Again, that's to make it make your track more interesting and not to get bored that easy.
Yeah. Especially with this track, because the sound is right on the kick and it's
always the same.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
it just keeps going. Yeah,
do this kind of things to make it less boring.
Yeah, exactly. We skipped this part. I can let you guys hear why. We were just experimenting with different types of drops. So then we get into the break. So the break is very much driven by the vocal, but as you can hear, there's more going on. Of course, we have the bass line. Oh, we made it in Citrus. I think I made this myself by just trying out a new bass line. So it's kind of a trappish sub, as the title says. And the ARP, which we used in the intro, comes back in the break. It's made with GMS. Then we have some chords playing. First sound comes out of Harmer. It's a preset, I think, and the second one is Serum, and they play together. We have this small vocal chop, and of course the rides and a clock sound. And this one. Not really sure where we made that one in, but we just rendered it. And we have this lead. Out of Spire. And then again we skip a part, which is this part. We had several versions of this track, and the first version was made with the lead I just showed you, this one. It also played in the drop, and we had a breakdown that was for that track, which sounds like this. But it didn't fit this version, so we skipped it and got into the second build-up immediately. The second build-up, I think it's quite the same as the first one, except there is this bass uplifter, which we also like to use a lot. And a hardstyle kick. The main lead is introduced. Again, a lot of uplifters, I think a couple more than in the first drop, and like this one. Uplifters, the clock goes on. So it brings us to the second drop. It feels so damn. almost the same as the first drop, except this. Where is it? This sound. And we used an extra down sweep. Yeah, which we automated, or not automated, but pitched down. So it's a long, like ongoing noise, but you can really easily make it go up and down in the piano roll. By doing that. A new uplifter comes in. I think that's all we can tell right now, right? Then the outro comes in, and
yeah, a little bit difference is the third part.
Yeah,
with the vocal chops.
Yeah, this part. But it's nothing quite special.
No.
We might tell you something more about how we mixed or mastered this track, because as you can see, we like to work with colors. So these, I'm a bit color blind, so excuse me. These greenish or green blue are mostly small effect sounds or snares or stuff like that. Then these greenish ones are leads, but these are also leads, but these are more the bass kind of leads. Then the reds are the kick and the sub. And here we used buses to automate our sidechain, or to sidechain our leads and stuff like that. So we have two sidechains, which are, I think, one is really short and the other one is just in between. So really, so this is like a slow sidechain. This is a really short sidechain, and we have a separate sidechain bus channel for the bass, so it doesn't interfere with the kick drum. So it's really halfway, as you can see. Then our master, of course, we have the high pass and low pass, and as I explained, that we used in the build-up, and we used the limiter to automate the volume dip in the build-up. So it's the gain control we only used of this one, and the reverb. We used Valhalla to automate the reverb. Then we did some EQing, cut off until 34, boosted a little bit of bass, and a little bit of small boosts, about 90, 180, a dip around 800, and boosted the highs, because often in our mix we miss the high frequencies. So without, it sounds like this. With, like this. So it's a lot fresher, mostly because we boosted the highs. And
maybe you can explain why the function with the mono and stereo.
Oh yeah, sure. A good thing about the FabFilter Pro Q2 is that you can separately mix the mids and the sides, and you don't want your bass to be in the sides. You only want them really like mono in the center, and the FabFilter lets you do that by just cutting off only the sides. So that's what this one does, and the mids are still playing, which gives you a lot of opportunities to really EQ the sides and the mids separately. Then we have this one, which is a multi-band compressor, and I see we mostly used it to like compress the high frequencies again, a little bit of a boost in the low end, but not that much, I think. Then again, an EQ, cut off the lows, boosted the highs, but nothing that much, I think. And something we like to use a lot is the T-Rex. And we mostly picked a super loud preset, and then we start tweaking. So that's also what we did here. This is the compressor, and here it goes into a brick wall limiter. To really get maximum volume out of the track. And I think that's kind of all we have to say now about this track. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. We will try and check them out and answer them. And don't forget to follow us on, I don't know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And thanks for watching.
Yes, thanks for watching.